A few days ago, Elon Musk said something that most people heard as good news. He spoke of a future in which artificial intelligence and robotics produce so much abundance that goods and services become almost free. A future where universal high income replaces universal basic income because the cost of things collapses under the weight of endless productivity. In his vision, artificial intelligence and robots eventually do almost everything. Humans may literally run out of things to do. He said it almost casually, almost optimistically. But I sat with those words for a while, because they raised a question I don't think many people want to ask. What happens when human labor is no longer necessary? Not just less necessary, unnecessary. And perhaps that question explains something larger. Because beneath all the arguments about fertility, declining birth rates, vaccines, environmental toxins, food, pharmaceuticals, the Georgia Guidestones, artificial intelligence, and depopulation theories, I wonder if there is a deeper fear hiding underneath all of them. What if we are no longer needed? Not as workers, not as providers, not even as thinkers. For thousands of years, human beings have measured value through usefulness. We earned our place by producing, building, providing, solving problems, and contributing to survival. But what happens when survival itself becomes increasingly automated? What happens when intelligence becomes abundant? What happens when labor becomes optional? Maybe this is why so many people feel unsettled. Not because they have all arrived at the same conclusions, but because they are sensing the same question and expressing it through different stories. Some fear depopulation. Some fear transhumanism. Some fear artificial intelligence. Some fear governments. Some fear corporations. Some fear loss of freedom. Some fear irrelevance. And perhaps beneath all those fears lies something much older and more personal. What if I no longer matter? What if my value has always been tied to what I do? What if the world being built has no place for me? Perhaps this is why theories surrounding population, fertility, and elite intentions strike such deep emotional chords. Whether they are understood literally, symbolically, or somewhere in between, they all seem to revolve around the same question. Who is this future for? And what vision of humanity is guiding it? Because if intelligence becomes abundant and machines perform most tasks, then the question ceases to be economic. It becomes spiritual. What is a human being for? Not what does a human being do? What is a human being for? Love, beauty, humor, wonder, conscience, creativity, faith, sacrifice, relationship? None of these things are easily automated. Perhaps they become more important, not less. Perhaps the coming century is not about replacing human beings, but forcing us to confront what makes us irreplaceable. And perhaps that is why so many people feel suspended between excitement and dread. Because every great technological leap asks a question beneath the invention itself. Steam power asked it. Electricity asked it. The internet asked it. Artificial intelligence is asking it again. Who are we becoming? Maybe the greatest fear isn't that someone is trying to eliminate us. Maybe the greatest fear is that we have forgotten why we matter. Because if survival is no longer humanity's primary task, another question emerges. Not, what will we do? But, who will we become? And perhaps that is the real battle hidden beneath all the theories. Not whether machines can replace us, but whether we will remember what makes us human before we convince ourselves that we are obsolete. Most of what I write lives on Substack if you want to go deeper. Meet me there at tendingtheinbetween.substack.com.